All right, this is Prison Stories 101, in which we try to obtain knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from those who have served time and paid their debt to society. Uh, if you don't mind, first let me please introduce yourself, and then let those know as far as how much time you served and what units.
Okay. My name is Bishop Eli Jacobs from Dallas, Texas, from South Dallas Park Road. Uh, I did time on Michael Union, Ferguson, Vito. Uh, Got this first unit they had me on. Telfa, another one. Mountain View somewhere. All those units. So I did 15 years flat.
We always try to understand as far as the time frame in which you went in, because the time has changed. So can you let us know as far as what year you went in and what year you came out?
I went in 87, got out in 2001. Been out for a minute now.
Been out for a minute now.
Yeah.
Now,
God.
before we even get into your time there, what we always try to do is get an understanding of two things: who was affected by, of course, you going in, and we try to understand why. So let's just start with the who. As far as you going in, who was affected? Like, who did you leave behind? What families was affected by any crime that was committed? Who would you say was affected that landed you into the situation?
Well, I think that a lot of people was affected, not just the victim. Me selling drugs, shot somebody, and most of people that was affected, my mother, my brothers and sisters, and my son, because when I got locked up, he was in his mama's stomach, so he never did get opportunity to see me till 15 years later, which is then just my friends, everybody was affected. When you go to prison, you don't realize who you hurt until you in there, and you hurt all people all kind of way. I remember my niece, who was about 2 years old. My sister brought her down here, and she used to always hold my hand in the visit room and ask me when I'm gonna come home. And I didn't know when I was gonna come home. I thought maybe I would come home in 3 years. Before you know, I ended up being gone for 15 years. I thought I was gonna beat my case or get it overturned, but end up doing 15 years.
Lastly, we try to ask the why, as far as what were your circumstances in which led you to, do the things that led you into prison, and the mentality of why you felt that that was what you needed to do at that time.
Well, when you coming up in South Dallas, and I was, we're West Dallas, but we raised up in South Dallas. When you coming up the way I came up, I saw so many different things in my household. Um, my mom trying to raise 6 kids by herself. Uh, it was difficult for her, and I was next to the baby. So coming up, I end up trying to help my mom. You a kid and you seeing your mama struggling, or you coming home from school, y'all furniture getting set outside. We lived all over South Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Miles, Jeffrey, Goon, on the other end, Holmes and Parnell, and we live all over Dixon and Bonton. We live everywhere, and a lot of people we wondered why y'all live everywhere. My mom, trying to take care of 6 kids ain't easy, and we kept getting behind rent. And so what led me into the streets, I remember one time, I think I was 8 years old, and my mom wrote a note. She was decided that she couldn't do it no more. And so my mom wrote a letter, and she said she loved us, and she feel like, somebody else can, do better, can give us a better life. So my mama tried to commit suicide. So when I walked in the room, I walked in on her, and she was trying to jump off these 3-story apartments, and she was in the window. So I said, "Mama, what you doing?" She said, "Get out of here." I said, "Mama, hold up, Mama," like that. I said, don't do that, mama, don't do that. She said, get your butt out of here, boy, like that. And I said, well, mama, if you don't do that, I'll take care of you. That's when I first told my mama to take care of her. I said, I promise, mama, I don't care about no clothes. I don't care about no shoes. I don't care about none of that. I just want my mama. So she looked back, saw me, and my mom was like, she was at a point where she felt like she ready to take her life. And, that led my mama from uh, not just want to commit suicide, but it also, through all the depression and all the hurt, she was end up drinking, and she started to shoot dope. I know my sister and brother don't want me talking about that, but I'm just gonna keep it real. She started shooting heroin, in trying to please people, and so in the process, her own drugs, she just started doing drugs, and all these things going on in her head. I guess she felt like that I can just end my life and it'll be over with. But at I think I was about 7 or 8. That's when I said, "Mom, I'm gonna take care of you." So that what led me into the streets and caused me to feel like I need to do something. I need to change my household, and so that's how I first started to want to get involved and help my mom.
Now you have a pretty notorious history in the city of Dallas, and which led up until ultimately to your arrest, which I believe you were a teenager at the time. Uh, that day of your arrest, if you don't mind, walking us through just if you felt that the arrest was coming, and take us through what happened as far as getting you arrested and how they came for you.
Well, I never thought I would get arrested. When you're out here hustling and doing things, and I know people like 7, 8 years old. Well, I ended up stealing, coming from this store called Angelo's in Dallas. I was stealing meat and bread out there and bringing it to my family. Then when I got around about 11, I ended up in the juvenile system. And so in the juvenile system, uh, you know, I end up, I think, I don't know, around 12 or somewhere, I ended up escaping the juvenile system. And so when I went to court, I ran out, and they didn't catch me. Harry Hines juvenile system used to be off of Harry Hines. So I ran across that railroad track, jumped on the bus. I got away from the juvenile system, but they was looking for me, and they ended up catching me, and they put me in another state home, and so I ended up escaping that mean this old slow guy, and I think I'm around 15, 14. I escaped there, and so I know that I couldn't get caught no more. I know if I get caught, I'm gonna end up going to the boys' home, and so I end up in the streets. Uh, I ended up going to California. Uh, I met a dude named Rick Kokomo. He a rolling sixes, and so he took me to Florence and 60th Avenue, where all the six rolling sixes be at, and his brother named H. Rat Kidney. I met him, big let loose. I met a lot of rolling sixes, so uh, they put me in the game. Joe did. He kind of showed me how to get in the game on another level. And so I ended up talking to him. I see how they do things different. So I told him they want to come to Dallas. So I brought him to Dallas. We flew down here. I never forget when we first flew. He had some Mexican lady, like she was pregnant and on the plane with dope on her. I didn't have, he brought his mute and they was catching the plane. And I asked him, "Was them people with us?" He said, "Yeah, they with us. They the one bringing the dope." And had two ladies, had keys, dope. I don't think they had them dogs sniffing back then. And so I never forget that. So anyway, when we get to Dallas, I kind of show them the hood because, they're not from here. So we end up going to UN State's apartment. But in the process of that, uh, Joe liked me because I was loyal. When the police had put us over, we had two keys with us. And by me getting out running, it kind of gave the police left those other guys there. They went to chasing me. And so I ran in on a hill. And so the police, they after me, helicopters everywhere. And so, but the guys had the keys, the dope with them, and I had some money with me. And so when the police didn't catch me, how I got away, I went up going up in the house where this door was open. I just walked up in there. People like, hey, what you doing? I said, man, they trying to, these guys out there. So hold up. People, now, hold up, man, get out here. And this is crazy. I'm so known as, in Dallas, one dude come from the back and said, ain't you Eli? I said, yeah, man, yeah. He said, man, what you doing in my house? I said, man, just give me a shirt. I get out. Because they were scared. I'm a man in their house. I said, man, the dude trying to rob. He said, trying to rob? Who trying to rob? Like that. I said, man, just can I talk to you? And he said, hold up, man, hold up. I said, man, can I just talk to you in your room? Not in front of everybody. So I did that. I said, man, give me a shirt. I need a shirt like that. He said, but you're going to have to get out of here, man. I don't know who you running from. I said, listen to him, man, please, man, like that. I said, can you just look and make sure it's clear? So he said, man, the only thing out there's a bunch of police, man, and a helicopter. I said, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Police looking for me, man. He said, man, you ran in my house? I said, yeah. So anyway, so I said, man, just give me less 15 minutes, I'm gone. And so he said, man, I'm gonna give you 15 minutes, man. You want to get out of here, man. And so I'm trying to stall up time. He said, man, it's 15 minutes. I said, man, just make sure the helicopter gone like that. He said, man, okay, I'm gonna look. I said, man, let's look around the corner. When he gave me the shirt, so he want me out of his house. So I walked over out, and got away. So when I got back to the apartments, Joe said, man, I heard the police pull y'all over, man. What's up? He said, I got my dope. I said, oh, here go your money. He said, you got the money? I said, yeah, here go the money. He was tripping because most dudes could have said they lost the money. I brought his money back to him. He like, oh, you all right? You little nigga, you all right? Like that. So I said, I wasn't stealing from him. But anyway, make a long story short. So I ended up going back to South Dallas, open up traps in South Dallas. And he was finding me all the dope I want. And I ain't gonna say certain people's names because they still alive. Matter of fact, I just saw one of the guys that used to give me dope the other day. And so a lot of people don't want their name out there. But anyway, one individual, he gave me some keys too. And so I started selling on Myers and Jeffrey. So you had Ray Charles on one side, had Anthony Ray King. Then you had them boys out of Miami. All us in the game. You got Big Ken, and you got Danny Bell. You got all us in the game, And so my homeboy Junior, and let me kill that. And so you got all these different people that's in the game with us. And so, but me, I end up checking everybody else's drugs out because I want to see what they selling. And so I sent some of my boys to go get Ray Charles stuff. And I noticed he had 3 things in a bag. So I said, I'm gonna get a bigger. I want mine bigger than his, where I can get the custom, So we both. But then mine started rolling because I started making mine bigger than everybody else. And so, plus I was getting all the dope I want, front and free, And but anyway, make a long story short, I end up getting on my feet. I'm the guy. Everybody know, it's Lil Eli. It led me into gambling. Led me into playing poker. And so I'm gambling every day. I'm going to Lady Pearl. I'm going to Silver Slipper. I'm going to City Lights. These was the clubs that everybody knew about back then. But I ain't supposed to be up in that. I ain't grown, but they let me in because, I got money. But anyway, I ended up going back to the neighborhood. Ain't got no business back in South Dallas. Even though I'm from South Dallas, you around a bunch of dudes that broke, ain't got no money, stand around, act like you own something. And they want what you got, And I was good to dudes, I put everybody down, just tell the truth. I help everybody, you wanna start a trap, you wanna get you some money. I give everybody opportunity to get money. I bought the bags, I bought the dope, I got them the apartment. I looked out for everybody. Everybody know out of South Dallas. You get where you like, you're gonna have money. And so, but anyway, this young guy that everybody's scared of. And so I was parked, came in the neighborhood, parked my Cadillac, get out, trying to talk to the guys in the hood. One, the dude that everybody's scared of, he said, like, nigga, what you doing over here? I said, what's up, baby? Like that. I don't know, for a nigga slap you. And I said, slap me? Get on, for a nigga spit in your face. You don't supposed to be over here. I say, hey, man, don't talk to me like that, man. You know, that ain't for us. Get on, for a nigga go in your pocket, you know. So he one of those guys that everybody kind of scared of because he robbed drug dealers, you know. And so he known for being the bullet, you know. So, man, before you know it, I went and got a gun with my stupid self. Went and got my brother. Told my little brother what happened. He's like, come on, get that nigga. I said, come on. We get in the car. So we drove back inside, and he's standing there. And I'm thinking pulling the gun out of him on him, he was gonna bow down, you know, respect me. He got he got bolder, like, oh, nigga, you pull the gun, nigga, I take that gun from you. My brother like, give it to me. I'll shoot him. I said, you ain't gotta tell him nothing. I'm trying to really Joker sell it through my brother, hoping he calm down. You know, I said, no, you gotta tell him nothing. That didn't work. He's like, oh, nigga, slap you, take that gun. So I said, don't walk up on me, man, please. Don't walk up on me, I'm gonna shoot you. He kept walking. So I said, boom, 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 boom. And I knew then I messed up, you know what I'm saying? I shot him in front of everybody, you know. It's amazing. Like I tell dudes all the time, you can impress people and everybody that's standing around it like they gangster, they running behind cars, but y'all supposed to be gangster, but y'all running, you know what I'm saying? And y'all urging them on, you know. And I still remember the scene. And so me and my brother, we got in the car, and I said, man, I done messed up. You talking about, oh, man, you did right? And I'm like, you know, and my reality came in, I done shot somebody, you know what I'm saying? I'm in trouble, you know. And I get a gun to a dope fiend, tell him get rid of it. My dumb butt give a dope fiend a gun. I end up going to court. They done fired the gun, and cause the dope fiend had it. And so instead of me getting rid of the gun and getting rid of evidence, I'm giving it to a dope fiend to get rid of it. That go to show you I ain't got no sense, you know. I'm not smart. And so, but anyway, I stayed gone for about a year or so, hiding in Ewing State's apartment. That's when I had the Crips and Blood. We took over Ewing State. And I called the guy. I said, hey, man, I know I shot you. I said, but don't bring the police in it, and I give you $5,000. He talking about, no. You going to prison, and I'm gonna kill you when I get out. I said, okay. I said, but he didn't die. He was in the hospital. I said, we're gonna bring you $5,000. Just leave the law. Like, I didn't want to go to prison. But that didn't work. He still, testified against me. And so I ended up going to prison. I ended up getting 40 years. Went through a jury trial like a stupid old guy. They cut me with 15. I could have got 15 years, but I ended up going to jury trial, got 40 years. And so, but my lawyer told me the most I can get is 15. So that's the reason why I crunk it up. But if I knew that I was going to get 40 years, I promise you, I wouldn't have went to a jury trial, you know. And so, but my cousin, my uncle, he was on crack. So I used to give him crack. He was my lawyer. And so he ended up, they find me guilty. And so I ended up getting 40 years.
The man you shot at survived that?
Mm-hmm, he survived.
So what was the charge?
Assault with a deadly weapon on that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. For you, at that age, can you take us through your first day? What were your nerves? I know you already did juvenile, but now you're in the big house. So
big house. It ain't like the juvenile system.
Yeah.
You know, in the juvenile system, sure, I ran the juvenile system. And so, but when I got to prison, you know, you got to remember, I already knew how to fight because I used to box. So it was me, Michael Rowe, Tyrone Cotton, uh, Kenny Rowe, all us box, coming up. Bird, uh, what's his name? Fool Man, uh, you know, Booker Kid, all us used to box. And so I already knew how to fight. So I had a kind of little ups on a lot of guys. But anyway, so when we get to prison, man, I never forget it. So I ended up whooping this dude for my homeboy. And cause everybody asking how much time we got. And but my homeboy, he was running his mile named Little Lord Nelson. So Little Lord Nelson got me in my situation. Lord didn't want to fight him. So I ended up saying, fight me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to fight him, fight me. I should have minded my own business. But I ended up knocking the dude out. So they shipped me from that unit, Huckleberry. They shipped me from Huckleberry to Ferguson. Ferguson's called Gladiator Unit. The unit that you want to fight, you want to be tough, we're going to send you where you can get that. And so when I go to Ferguson, man, I never forget it, man. I'm like 110, maybe 105, maybe little, I'm little, no chest, no hair up on the arm, clean face. Oh, man, say, man, I remember walking down the hallway. I never forget it. Lady said, come here. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, what are you doing in here? What she thinking I'm like 12. How you get in here? I said, they put me here. And she said, no, you're a baby like that. And she said, you want to go to PC? I didn't know what PC was. I said, what is PC? Protected custody. I said, nah, because they want to be on no block with no whatever. That's where they put the homosexual at back then. It's different now. The scary guy that scared or want protected custody, or the gay guys go there. So I didn't want to be over there with no bunch of punks. So I ended up going on a regular wing. So when I got there, before I got there, we went through the shower. I never forget it. You first time in prison, and I got partners that's never been in prison. Some of them done peed on themselves. They scared. Some of them like sweats. Me, I'm just, I'm a little bad kid anyway. So when I walk through there, you got to look at it. You got a bunch of men naked. You know what I'm saying? Dingling out. They got these big old arms and they've been lifting weight. And they ask you, where you from? Where you from, little nigga? I said, I'm from South Dallas, like that. So it's on the two hood back then. It wasn't no Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove, none of that. You either say you out of South Dallas or West Dallas. It wasn't no, I'm from PG, none of that. Because you wasn't respected if you said any of them other cities. South Dallas always been known as the baddest hood of West Dallas. And so, but South Dallas was known for where all the drugs and the liquor. You only buy liquor in South Dallas. Everybody had to come over the bridge to get liquor out the South. So I told him, I said, I'm from Sunny Side, like that. And one of them said, little nigga, don't get smart. Then my homeboy named Buster out of Carry On, he was there. And he said, I need to put this, not the stair. And so my homeboy named Buster, he was from Carry On. And so he had respect. And so he was telling them, like, say, this my little homeboy named Eli. And so he tried to speak up for me. I said, nah, I'm good, like that. So dude walk, little nigga, don't be running your mouth, like that. So my heart beating, even though I know I'm not scared, but you're in a new environment that you never be in, it does mess with your mind. I don't care how tough you think you is. And, it make you, my heart was just, running real fast because I ain't never been in an environment. And I'm around a bunch of naked men. Ain't nobody, because when you go to Ferguson, you got to go through the shower to get your matches and your clothes and your drawers and all that and get shaken down. And so you got a bunch of men walking up to you, asking you where you from. So one dude, he gonna tell me, he said, where you from? I said, South Dallas. What's up? He said, don't get smart, I knock you out. I said, no, you don't knock me out. So Buster said, chill out. He this my little homeboy he said something to him. So I told Buster, I said, Buster, you ain't got to speak for me. I'm good. You know, he said, no, little homeboy, say, I got you. I said, no, I'm all right. I promise you I'm all right. And so, but anyway, so this is what I was telling the penitentiary game. A lot of the youngsters don't know how it go in penitentiary. So on weekend, they call Recreate Day, where everybody, you got Houston guys, you got Dallas guys. This is where they chest punching, try to see if you're a girl or you soft. And so everybody chest punching, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, man, what they doing? Then one dude walked over to me. He said, hey, little man, you next. I said, next in what? You got the chest punch, one of them dudes out of Houston. I said, no, I don't play, bro. I don't do all that. So I was sitting down, sure enough, dude out of Houston came, boom, knocked the wind out of it. They thought, oh yeah, look at it. And I'm like, my big homeboy, Funky White, he looking at him, and Patrick Gus, he looking at him because we all out the South, you know what I'm saying? And they trying to see him big forehead. They trying to see if I'm going to fold up, but I couldn't do nothing because he knocked the wind out of him. I said, they said, you good? I said, yeah, let me get him. They said, okay, rest for a minute, but you want to get out of here, little homeboy. I said, yeah, but he knocked the wind out of him, I couldn't do nothing because he hit me hard. So I'm sitting there, but I'm looking at everybody in this penitentiary. I'm not with the program. So I said, they walked over there. You after this, you next. I said, all right, you good? I said, yeah, I'm good, like that. So I already made up my mind right there. I'm not finna be nobody girl. I'm not finna be a part of the system. And I ain't scared. So they told me it's my time. So when he came over there, he had a little glove on. He said, you ready? You ready? Like, he's showing out. Soon that joker did, I said, boom, boom, boom. So I dropped him. They said, hold on. What you doing? I said, man, you can't fight this a chest. I said, hey, man, I don't do all that. Then they went to grab, hold on, little homeboy. Hold on, little Eli. We don't do that. I mean, y'all reckon this ain't, this. I said, hey, man, if y'all not going to kill me, leave me alone. I don't even care what's going on. I don't care about no. Anybody touch me, I'm going to hit them in their mouth. I don't play. So they seen that I wasn't down with the rules. So one of the big OG come on up, say, look out, little homeboy, let me holler at you, man. Look at here, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, this is all right. This is what we do, man. This ain't no, this is for fun, man. I say, hey, man. I said, for it, I don't play with toys. I sure ain't finna play with this man. Say, man, nobody put their hand on him. I'm telling you. So he said, you chill out right now, but we gonna holler at you. So anyway, they decide they gonna holler at me later. So the next week come and joke. So I'm ready to make up my mind. These guys, I guess they think you gotta get into the system. You gotta be down with what they down with. So I went and bought me a lock and belt. And I got it with me. So I said, I know it's finna be chest. It's recreation, it's Friday. So they said, it's recreation time, baby. Houston getting Dallas. So boom, boom, boom. They do boom. So it's another dude, he got some hands too. So he like, what's up, Eli? Me and you. I looked at him. Okay, let's see. He like, you ready? I ain't doing no cause I made up my mind. I'm not finna talk with nobody. I made up my mind. So I got my hand under my shirt like this, but I got a lock and belt. So he, boom. I said, boom. That blood everywhere. They say, hey, what you doing? What you doing, man? I said, man, no, y'all, one of y'all better not touch me like that. So blood everywhere. So I ended up getting locked up. They come down there. They say, you use a weapon? I said, yeah, man. These dudes be trying to rape me, man. They trying to rape me. He said, rape you? I said, yeah, you trying to rape me, man. Trying to rape me. He said, well, the lieutenant said, well, he tried to rape you. I said, yeah, man, he tried to rape me. So I'm crying and everything. He said, well, you supposed to protect yourself. Boy, what he tell me that for? Boy, look at here. I said, that's a pass to get everybody now. And so I'm littler. So After they did that, now I'm learning the system. I'm looking at everybody. I'm figuring out, okay, this is how this goes. Here's the tough guy. Who they scared of. Boom, boom. But everybody liking me because I'm little. And so I started changing my clothes, start sagging, wearing my belt to the side. We sag, we walk around. These guys been locked up in prison. They never seen the sag game, so they don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? So we run around, me and my guy, we run around sagging on the unit. So the guard said, hey, pull your pants up. I like, make me pull my pants up. You know, hey, come here, boom. So all my little clique, we run around was sagging. So we started seeing the old schools that was locked up, they start wanting to sag. Now, that's why I be laughing at people who say sagging was for punks in prison. That's not true. That's a lie. You know, that tickled me. The gangsters wore the sagging pants, not the homosexual. Now, what they doing now is different. The sagging they doing now, where the guys be showing their drawers way down. We didn't sag like that. We sag like on just the tip of our back of our butt, not to where you can see the crack of your butt. You sag like that, and people see how fine you is or your shape, you gonna make a nigga want to get at you. You know what I'm saying? So the sagging they doing now, like some of these rappers, you know how they be showing their booty. You can't do that in penitentiary. Oh, they finna see what it, cause you showing exactly what you look like, and dude gonna fantasize running up in you. You know what I'm saying? So the sagging that you see they doing now, that's why I be laughing at these rappers that never been in penitentiary and be doing all, and even like old black old boy, I be saying they be having it way down there. Man, that's disrespect. If you show your crack of your penis or the crack of your butt in prison, when I was in penitentiary, you are asking for it, or you asking to get killed, or you asking to get raped. You can't do that. So the way they sagging now is like it's crazy. And so, but we run around sagging, and everybody want to do it now because they feel like, you know, they're gangster. And I got that style from them dudes out of LA. And so, but walking around, so I end up learning everything about prison. So every day I'm practicing, I'm hitting the bag, I'm learning how to fight, get in shape. I'm learning how to get involved. So now I figured that I want to run the penitentiary. Now this was going through my head now. And so I started gambling to survive in prison, because you gotta remember, you know, my mama, you know, I ain't like the dudes out of Oak Cliff. They was able to go to commissary. I had to survive in prison. So I started gambling. Didn't want to pay nobody. I said they can't whoop me. So when I gamble, I don't pay. But when I win, I want to get paid. So I was doing all kind of stupid stuff. And but I learned how to mastermind the hit first, you know, who hit first win. So one of the things that I discovered while I was in prison, if a dude argue with you, you never give him a chance to think first. So if I even got in conversation with you, I still, I don't care if you're sitting down, we argue, we look at each other on, I don't care you playing dominoes. I done stole you. And so everybody know that, you know, I got the devil in me now. And so as I started getting around the unit, people out the hood started loving me, you know, and it's either Dallas, it's only two cities that run prison when I was in prison. You might have San Antonio, you might, like Houston, you got Beaumont, you got those San Antonio, they run with Houston. Out of Dallas, we only have Fort Worth. Fort Worth and Dallas, it's like the same city. They like our cousin. And so the whole unit is built around Houston or Dallas, not Longview, not Tyler, not none of these little cities. So, but it's just those two cities in Texas. And so, but anyway, make a long story short, when we was on the unit, I began to get in a lot of stuff, man, kicking off rides. And one of the things that shook my mind, I watched my partner get killed. And he got a visit in England. And so while we was in the day room, I seen a bunch of Mexicans. They was all in the corner. And so I told my homeboy, I said, man, somebody did something to the essay. He said, man, I don't know. I said, man, I hope one of these niggas ain't stole nothing from these Mexicans. Come to find out, one of my homeboy named Jeff, he jacked off on a Mexican in the shower. So they wanted revenge. So Jeff, he a booty bandit. So he liked those Mexicans. And so he hard-headed. He got heart, but he don't run nothing. He got heart. He don't have the authority like we have. And so anyway, I try to go, me and Terry L, we all try to go and talk to the Mexican to find out, how can we fix this situation? What's going on? Do we need to give y'all some commissary? What? Do we need to whoop out the black or what? We'll whoop him, we'll take care of him. And so they said no English. That means that nobody talking English. So in prison, when they don't talk any English, that means we don't want no deal. It's going down. It's no, when they blah, they say, oh no, that means let's get ready. Let's rock and roll. So nobody wanted to talk. So I went over there. I said, hey man, this what's been happening. These Mexicans, they ready. And if they ain't talking, they got knives in the day room. So I said, this is what we gonna do. This is what I tell them. I say, everybody that don't fight, when we come up, I said, I gotta look at you. So I need everybody to get down. And so, I said, do y'all understand? What's up, baby? What's up? You like me? What's going on? You always got a brother that's like, man, did y'all talk to him? I said, listen, man, they don't want to talk. So that's over with. They don't want to do no talking. So now we got to survive. They don't want to do no talking. So I said, so what we gonna do? I said, when these Mexicans do this here, I said, I'm gonna kick it off like that. He said, all right. I said, we got to kick it off. So when the Mexican walk over there, before I got ready to get one of my partner, he catch one. Boom, boom, boom. So I catch one. Boom, boom, boom. The Mexicans, they coming. They stab. Boom, boom. Brothers running all up on your leg and about to, knock you down. Cause when you're running, you not. One thing I learned in prison, when you run, people get bold. But even if you don't run, you just look like you scared. I said, come on. They don't see that fear on you. They are not going to approach you like that. But when you run, turn your back, it make them more bolder. And so anyway, England got stabbed in the neck. I never forget, he right there. Boom. They got him. He fell. Boom. Blood just coming out. And he looked at me like, man, help me. But I can't help him because all these Mexicans coming towards us. Only thing I can do is just hope he all right, put something, he trying to hold his neck because the blood he can't breathe. I'm looking at him. He grabbed my leg, like I can't breathe. The blood is. And so we fighting, boom, boom, boom. Because most of us that was in the day room, we call gunslinger. We were gunslingers. We can fight with our hands. And so one brother can whoop 3 Mexicans by himself, you know what I'm saying? Because we good, you know what I'm saying? So we done master how to fight. And so when they come, boom, I'm moving side, boom, boom, hit him. My other homeboy, we all got our own style. So we knock, boom, boom. I said, nobody run. One brother, he was running. I grabbed him. Man, stop running. I'm whooping brothers because they running, making it nervous, making everybody else, throw us off, balance. So I told my boy Chum, I said, get him, man, don't let him run. So we got to hit a couple brothers to make them fight because they running. And so, but anyway, make a long story short, they shoot the gas on them, boom. And log coming out, boom, gas, make everybody lay it down. So they coming down. Now, Ingram dead. I see blood everywhere. And I'm looking at him. He gone, you know what I'm saying? So after I end up being on there for a couple months, that's when I decide that we're going to form some unity in the prison. And so we had a talk. I said, need everybody to come. You got the MWs. You got it wasn't no Christian blood when I came to prison. Christian blood, that's funny. We'll talk about that later. Wasn't no Christian blood back then. And so you got the MWs and you got regular hood. It was like Oak Cliff, West Dallas, Pleasant Grove, Oak, you represent your hood back then. And so anyway, so we had a meeting on the yard. I said, hey man, this is what we're gonna do. Anytime we get into it with anybody, everybody that don't help, you're gonna get disciplinary, What you mean? I said, listen, when every time have a ride, I need everybody. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care yes. Everybody got to play a part. Because in prison, blacks by themselves. I don't care how they look at it. The Chinese against us, the white, the Mexican, every other race get together against black. Anybody in prison would tell you that. We the only, I don't know why we don't stick together now. We the only race that in prison, everybody that come together. You have the whites and Mexicans come together and fight us. You have the Chinese and any other race that come together and fight the black. So we ain't got nobody we can partner up with. That's not how they're blacks by themselves. So I told those brothers, and I said, hey man, this is what we have to do. And for you Facebook people, I'm telling this story to help some of your sons and daughters that's out there thinking prison is something to glorify in. And so, but when I was there, Joker, I discovered a lot of things that I had to change for us to survive. And I know people that might see this broadcast that know me, they gonna tell their own story. Everybody ain't gonna like me. Everybody ain't gonna like the story. Like, even in comment, everybody ain't gonna, you gonna have dudes, that little dude couldn't have did all that. They gonna voice their opinion, but anybody that know Eli and did time, they'll tell you they gonna co-sign it. Men don't co-sign for another man or say something. But they'll tell you, but they will also lie. This is the rumor they spread on me in prison, but it's not true. They said when I lost my mom, I went crazy. They said that I didn't want to come home. That's a lie. They gonna say he started trouble. He keep rise. He was bad. He was this. He was the devil. You're gonna hear that, but you hearing from me. I was not the devil. I was not trying to stay in prison. I was trying to survive. You know how you try to survive in the streets and you mess up? You took that route. That was wrong, selling dope. I thought helping my mom was the right thing. Even in prison, I thought that if I made brothers stand together and we stood together, this is how we gonna survive. Which in so many ways, it was true. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care if you say it's wrong and right. We had no choice. So if you're not in prison and you don't know how it went, I don't care what they're doing now. They got this little weak stuff in prison. Back then, every day you hope that you make it. That's how prison was when I was there. You don't know who's gonna stab you. You don't know when a ride gonna jump off. You don't know what's gonna happen in prison. Nobody can predict what's gonna happen in prison. So every day was a surviving day for me. So I create a system where the blacks can survive. I create a system where my homies, so everybody love me. Anybody that tell you there's guys in prison right now, they'll tell you anybody that's been in prison, either you was on the unit with me or you wasn't, you heard about the things I done. Now, I do admit that I got institutionalized. I did like to fight a lot. I don't hide that. And the reason why I like to fight a lot, because I got immune to it. I felt like I had a reputation. So I did that out of fear. I tell people that all the time. Even though I fought a lot, it ain't like, I guess in a way, Joker, I can be honest.
Can you speak on your hardest fight, if you don't mind? Like one that made you probably say, man, I ain't fighting no more.
Well, let me say this. First, I got immune to fight. Let me put it like that. I just liked it. You know what I'm saying? I like to see, can you outdo me? You know what I'm saying? And then people, I got a reputation from it. So I kind of liked it. And I kind of knew that if you don't outthink me, you ain't gonna win no way. So, and then a lot of my fights came from helping other folks too, So if they gonna say Eli like to fight, tell them how I protect your daddy from getting raped, or I protect you from not how to join a gang. And so a lot of my fights I did because I didn't like people to bullet folks. Because, I was bullied when I was growing up and coming up as a kid. So I didn't like folks bullying folks. So people gonna say, well, you was a bullet too. No, let me tell you what I did. I wasn't a bullet because I didn't like people picking on weak folk. But when I didn't pay people their money for gambling, I was surviving. Two different things. And it still can be a form of bullying, but we both doing wrong. It ain't no honor in the street. So when we were gambling, I felt like, hey, you want to get paid? Come to the dance floor and get your money, you know. And most guys like, I don't want no. You keep that, you know what I'm saying? Then they felt like if they get into it with me, they got to get into it with everybody on the unit. So I had it's either way, I never lose, you know what I'm saying? I never lost in prison. And I know some people be like, oh, that was me. Oh, he wouldn't have did that to me. That sounds good. I promise I didn't hear it all. That sounds good. But you're not going to say that because I'm not in a losing situation. Even if you were able to whoop me, you got to whoop the whole unit. So how can you win? I don't lose, you know what I'm saying? So everybody love me. So anyway, make a long story short. But what made me decide to stop fighting? Man, only my mama, man. I ain't going, I can't. Yeah. Nobody else can make me change the way I change. Nobody got my attention. Nobody can get me to feel that I did nothing wrong. My mama, everybody got somebody in their life that can shake your faith or that can change your thoughts. So anyway, what made me stop fighting, my mama came to visit me. I told you the story. She came to visit me and she had cancer. And so when my mama came to visit me, she unplugged herself from the hospital and drove the Micah unit. My mama, got a hospital gown on. And you gotta, going through my head. I'm looking at my mama bald headed. Cancer turned your skin black and it was eating her up. And she was like about 6-7 pounds. And she had them big old things in her chest. And so she take the radiation treatment. And she said, hey, baby. I said, hey, mama. I said, mom, what's wrong with you? She said, I got cancer, baby. I said, mom, what is cancer? She said, it hurt, baby, like you've been shot 100 times by a gun. She said, but I'm ready to go be with the Lord. And so I said, well, mom, if the Lord don't take you, tell him I live for him. So I'm thinking in my mind, if I can make a deal with God, he'll say, mama. She said, no, it don't work like that. She said, baby, I need to talk to you. And I said, what's wrong, mama? She said, I want you to forgive me. And I said, forgive you for what? She said, forgive mama that y'all growed up in South Dallas. I said, mama, it ain't your fault. She said, forgive mama that y'all didn't have the right daddy. And so she kept apologizing. And I ain't like that because I don't feel like my mama owed me an apology. So this messed with my mind. I said, mama, you don't have to ask me for forgiveness. She said, no, if I had been a better mother, you wouldn't be here. She just saying everything. And she said, promise mama you don't stop fighting. I said, mama, what you mean? Because I know my mama ain't down here. She said, everybody get out of prison that know you, went to school with you. They say you down here fighting all the time. And you don't want to come home. I said, mom, they lying like that. She said, no, baby, your cousin even said you down here fighting. Everybody get out. They said, Eli doing this, Eli doing that. I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, promise mama you won't get out of prison. I said, mama, I got 40 years. She said, I know God can do anything. She said, promise mama you're going to take care of your son. Then she asked me to give my life to God. And I didn't know what that mean. I said, what you mean give my life to God? She said, I want you to give your life to God. God going to save you. He going to make you a preacher. And I'm like, preacher? I don't want to be no preacher. And this is what I'm going to want to be no preacher. And she said, I said, mom, I got gold down my mouth. She said, that don't mean nothing. She said, God going to save you, baby. And he showed it to me. And he going to save you, and you're going to be my Joseph. You're going to get everybody else saved. They look up to you. So anyway, that what made me decide that I got to do something different. And then she said to me, I knew my mama felt guilt, a guilt on her. I know it because, my sister got raped when she was like 14. My mama sent her to the store. And she didn't come back home. So I had to go. My mom said, go look for that girl. So I had to go and to the store. When I was going to the store, I saw my sister laying in the attic, being pulled, raped, and by a man and left there. So you got to remember, I'm young. I got to grab, take her home. And so my mama felt like that was her fault, which it wasn't her fault because life is life. You can't change life. Then my other little sister went through something. Then all my brothers, all us end up in prison. You know what I'm saying? Uh, two of them killed some guys that was in the neighborhood that was real bad. And so my mama felt all this guilt. She felt like uh, she wanted to make peace with us and peace with God. And so I told my mama, I said, Mama, it ain't your fault because you taught me right and wrong. I chose to get in the streets. I remember my mama used to come to Myers and Jeffrey and tell me stop hanging around them dudes. But I chose to do it. I'd be like, Mama, come on, these my friends. And so I told my mama it ain't her fault because I didn't want my mama to die in thinking that she was a failure as a mother. I didn't want her to die thinking that, she didn't do her part. She did do her part. I chose the streets. I chose to do what I did. And so, but anyway, that what got my attention, Joker. That what made me decide I got to do something different because every day I got up in that cell, I missed my mom. Satan tried to trick me and told me I had nothing to live for, commit suicide while you're in prison. But my mom was my lifeline. She the one that spoke to me. If my mama can come see me, man, this is God and the truth. I don't care how many people write me a letter. I don't care how much commissary I got. My mama visited me one time. It'll last me a whole year. And when I saw my mama come in that visit room, I don't care if I had 100 years. It gave me hope. I can go. I be on. I saw my mama cute. I remember my mom used to have visits. She used to say, "My baby handsome. My baby handsome. You my man." She'd tell me. She'd look at somebody else's shoes like they had rhinos, and it cost money. My mom like, "You want some rhinos?" I said, "No, mama." 'Cause I know my mama. She'll take her rent money and she'll pay. She'll send me money. She won't even pay her light bill, and she'll try to send me commissary. So I already know how she is. And my sister and them be writing, Mama, we gave her money to pay her light bill and pay her rent, and she want us to give back to her because she's sending it to you. You need to tell Mama stop sending you her money because, and I was hearing that from them. And so I looked up one day, my mama sent me $100, man. My mama know good well not to send me no $100. Cause I'm gonna hear my sister in the mouth. I'm gonna find out how to make it. My mama want me to have some boots like the other inmate. So I get $100. $100 a lot of money too in prison back then. So them around of $45. And so instead of me buying me a brand new pair, I took like about 25 and somebody that had some rhinos. I bought them. But so when I went in to visit, I had my starch and iron on. My mama see me with them rhinos on. Said, "Oh, you got them rhinos?" I said, "Yeah, mama," like that. She said, "Yeah, my baby got them rhinos. You look good." So, she always brag on me. That's just with my mom, and she told me, because I was cut up then. I ain't had this big old belly, I had them I was ripped. Yeah. So my mom, she's always bragging on me. And so she used to say, "You my baby," And so anyway, before she died, she told me that she wasn't gonna be home. And so my mama ended up dying on me the next day.
How did you get the news of that?
I felt it, man. People don't understand when you close to somebody. That's why people can't tell me it ain't a God. Nobody told me my mama died. I felt it. Nobody got to believe me. God know I'm not lying. That's on my life. I was walking down the hallway. I started crying because I felt my mama leaving me. And so when I walked down the hallway, Joe, I walked down the hallway crying. Now you got to know I'm Eli. All the dudes, everybody, stop. Man, what's up, man? What's up? Somebody finna die tonight like that, because they never seen me cry. One of my big homeboy, he about 6'6", about 300 solid. He mad. Man, what's up, baby? What's up? He like, hold up, man, what's up, man? Man, what's up, man? Everybody, then they see him acting. What's up, Eli? What, man, what's up? They trying to figure out, why is you crying? We know you. And I said, man, mama gone, man. That's when everybody hugged me. I said, mama gone, man. And one of my homeboys was crying with me. He said, man, I know how you love your mama. You hug me. And I said, yeah. And they hugged me. One dude, he ready to go to jail. I said, I'm good, man. Man, somebody gonna die. Somebody, my homeboy crying. Somebody. So anyway, so
How did that week go for you?
they locked me up, man. This is what they did to me. The warden in the Major Rain. You know, Joker, I'm trying to put it where you can understand, man. I wasn't on any inmate, Joker. You gotta understand, I wasn't an average inmate in prison system. I don't think no inmate did what I did in prison.
Basically your house.
Yeah, I'm like, they locked me up. You know why? They felt like I had enough influence to start a riot or somebody get killed. So what the warden did and the major, they locked me up and said, lock him up. I'm already lost my mind. What y'all locking me for? I ain't hurt nobody. But they did it for my safety and the guard's safety. And I was hurting. I was bleeding. And so I think that was a good move. Now, as I look at it, I think that was a very smart move to put me in SEG because I wanted somebody to hurt. And I'm gonna be honest, I was gonna get the warden because I asked him, let me go to my mama's funeral. He told me I got too much time. I couldn't go. So I said, when I see him, I'm gonna bust his head open with a lock. I'm gonna let him feel what I feel. But God's so smart than me, and God is intelligent. He made that major rain lock me up. Soon they heard, I saw him, I said, I went to the ward and he told me I couldn't go. So I asked Major Rain, I said, Major Rain, can I talk to you? He said, yeah, what's going on? I said, my mama died, man. I need to go to a funeral, man, like that. He said, did you talk to the warden? I said, the warden said no, like that. He said, well, I can't overrule the warden. And he looked at me, and I looked up. That joker got on that and called some guard. And I'm like, look, he said, wait right there. And I'm waiting. I'm trying to figure out what they up to, He told me to turn around, put me in handcuffs, and put me in solitary. I said, man, what you put me in solitary for, man? I ain't did nothing. He said, no, we're going to feed you. We're going to give you extra meal, but we're going to lock you up. And, man, I was mad. They locked me up for nothing. But anyway, as I look back, it made sense because the influence that I had on the unit. And so when I was back there in that cell, man, I thought about all the things my mama said, and I got the letter she wrote me before she died. She thought she wasn't going to make it. She said the very same thing she said to me in the visit room. She began to apologize. She began to talk about all the stuff we went through as a kid, because my mom, I told you my mom got locked up for something my brother did, and we ended up staying with our daddy. And growing up, we ended up being tacky, her napping, wearing the same clothes, people talking about it. Cause my daddy, he one of them old, old school dude, had us wearing, my sister and them wearing the same dress. So everybody picking on us cause my daddy ain't buying us cool clothes, looking like other kids. But when my mama was with us, my mama kept our hair pressed, afro, kept us, clean shoes, clean, but when we got with our daddy, we wore the same shoes for a year, you know what I'm saying? And holes in the shoes and, so, we was tacky,
Let me ask you, you had mentioned your partner, the guy, Jeff, who was, of course, abandoned and sagging pants. What was possibly was a man getting violated normal in there? And if so, what was the worst situation that you either heard about or even seen that a man was violated?
Yeah, you see people violate all the time in prison. I heard one of your brothers talking that day. The worst thing I've seen, it's I don't use the word worst thing. I say the first worst thing because raping is normal in prison. So you can't say that's the worst thing. I heard brothers say 20 dudes rape one dude. Okay. I think the worst thing I saw first, me and my partner, we both 17. I tell him, do not talk to these guys with these 20 numbers and 30 numbers. I had a 46, 80, 80 number. He had a 46, 95, something right after mine, because we on the unit together. I said, don't talk to these dudes with these low numbers because they booty bandit. I already know I'm smart enough not to talk to dudes that been there long. Nobody's your friend in prison. So I was telling you ain't got no friends, man. Dudes you went to school with, dudes that know your mama, they don't care. We're in the jungle. And when you're in the jungle, it ain't no, I have compassion for you. It ain't, I'm gonna feel sorry for you. It ain't nobody gonna come to your rescue. It ain't no, you can get a pistol and protect yourself. That, it ain't that. And so one of the things that I saw that hurt me in prison, one of my little partners, I felt like I didn't have the pull that I had after I was fresh on the unit too, so we both young, but I just had a heart. He didn't. He went up in the guy's cell. They fed him commissary, and so the dude tell him, "Hey man, you ate the commissary?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You full?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I looked out for you. Now you got to look out for me." And he like, "Look out for you? Yeah, I took care of you. I need you to take care of me." So he said, "What you want?" He said, "I want some head and butt." And he like, "What?" He said, So dude, boom, boom, knock him out. Boom, boom, beat him up, sweat the lip up. I look up, I'm mad. Next day, they done made him put on tight pants, red lipstick, what we call it is high C Kool-Aid. Put on Kool-Aid, arch his eyes, and now he a punk overnight. And I was like, "What's up, man?" I said, man, who did that to you?" And he said, "Man, I'm good." I said, "Man, what I tell you, man? What I tell you, man? Man, who made you arch your eyes like that?" So he was scared. He couldn't hold it down. So, that they ran up in him, you know what I'm saying? So that what hurted me. I know they raped him, not rape, well, he gave it up. A rape is different when they knock you out, take you out, but they hear you turn around and give it up, it's different. It's still the same. But anyway, he turned out to be a girl. So when I saw that, I kind of like, I didn't have no pull in penitentiary because I had just got there, you know what I'm saying? And so I saw all the game they run on people. Some of the things, but especially white guys, man, that I just feel for the white guys. White guys have the worst in prison. I don't care what nobody say, because when you're a white guy and you come to prison, either the Mexican wants you or the black wants you. And if you got money, they'll kill for you. That's the crazy part. White people has no chance in prison. And that's what I felt for. It's a lot of white boys on like that unit called a Darrington. They had a lot of white guys. And the system did it intention. They'll put all the whites, then you got majority white, it ain't gonna be like that because you're gonna have the Aryan Brotherhood, you're gonna have KKK. And so, but the unit that I was on, I felt sorry for white people because when they put a white guy, it used to be Mexican, black. When you see a white guy come on the tank, everybody get happy. Ooh, especially if he look good and he got commissary. Now that can start a riot. Who want him? The Mexican want him or the black want him? That's where the problem come in at. And so whoever see him first or walk up on him first and say, "Hey, I'm gonna protect you." He be like, he's scared anyway. You can see the fear, And then back then, we had our shirts out in the day room. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that now. We had our shirts off and t-shirt, dude big, looking like gorillas. And when you just coming out the world and you're a white guy, you have no chance. But I changed that a little bit, man. I don't know what kind of so-called gangster I was. I ain't like when they mess with white boys no more, man. I used to be like, "Hey, man, y'all, let them fight one-on-one, And I got cool with some white guys. I didn't want them for they butt or nothing. I just didn't like bullying. And but then I got back, kind of let it slide, let them do their thing. But only time I really said something when I became a Christian. But before I became a Christian, I said a little something. But when I became a Christian, and I found out you're a Christian, you white, and you're a Christian, you can mess with them while I was on the unit. It's not gonna happen. That's over with. If I find out they saved and they say they're a Christian, I ain't letting nobody mess with them. I'm willing to go down with them.